Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be looking at the Season 15 information in details, and that does include a new character, some new weapons and some new S Class cards in the Season store that is going to be in for Season 15. Reading through the intro, it says League's Season 15 details and info. A new League season launches this Monday and we're happy to share all the rewards you can aim for while proving your worth against other survivors. The main format will not be seeing many changes this time around, and we'll have newer rewards in store for you, including an exclusive S Class Mackenzie, 5-star weapons, and of course a new Paragon mod. The season structure is as follows. The format and structure will be similar to that of Season 14. During qualifiers at the start of the season, all players in Diamond League as of the Season 14 homestretch will start in Diamond 1. Gold and Platinum League players will have qualifiers during the first week of the season. All others remain in the same league as they were at the end of Season 14. Season duration will be 8 weeks. Qualifiers will start on the 8th of February at 12 PM Pacific time. That will also be the week 1 of Diamond Leagues. Stretch 1 will start on the 15th of February at 11 AM Pacific time, and then Stretch 2 to home stretch will start on the 22nd of February from 11 AM Pacific time, and the home stretch will also end on the 5th of April at 5 PM Pacific time. League campaign, Reach Diamond League, will be available to all Diamond League players and can be completed by claiming a tournament seal from your League store's Diamond segment. Reaching Diamond 5 will grant you an Impair Resist Paragon mod this time round, which will likely be 90% resist, just like the Trauma Resist one that you could get via the current season's Paragon mod, but we'll get confirmation down below. The new season rewards are as follows. We did get a little sneak at S Class Mackenzie in the main title page. We can see her art here, but I will say I noticed pretty quickly that her art basically is exactly the same as her 6-star art, if not identical. The only thing that changes by the looks of things is the heart on the helmet. That is legit it. It is quite a weird one. I don't think we've ever had that before, where they've completely reused old art on a character and just put something very small and insignificant on it just to make out it's brand new. And just to prove this, so I'm not obviously making this up, this was all new 6-star Mackenzie, who revived one teammate with her active. Obviously a great character back in the day. This is what she looks like. You can see everything's the same, but instead of that like V shape on her helmet, if we switch back, it's the heart. And the bottom of the V shape is the bottom of the heart. That's legitimately the only real difference that I can notice. Maybe the sword on the back. It looks like she's got a sword on her back, but everything else is pretty much identical between the two. I guess we'll have to wait and see if the visuals in-game are the same or not. The art being fairly similar is one thing, but if the visuals in-game are the same as well, that's gonna be weird. We're gonna check out some basic information on her setup though. I'll hopefully get a hold of this character and give you a first look video, just showing you how it all works. But we can see that her trait is going to be tough, roller is support, her health is going to be 3,962, defense 3,292, and attack 5,270. So for a support character, extremely high attack stat there. If we go down to her rush, it is called Not Dead Yet. It has an AP cost of 76. The effect is deal 1,500 damage to a line of enemies, revive up to 2 teammates with 50% max HP. All teammates get 50% max HP for 2 turns. So a very strong rush, very powerful, kind of more offensive at the moment because of the high attack stat, high percentage output on that rush. The revive is nice, but the rest of it is quite defensive. Obviously you're giving someone heals and then bonus HP. So it's kind of caught in two minds. I would have preferred it maybe if she had less damage on her rush or no damage at all and did maybe like bleed or burn, and then her attack stat could come down a bit, and then her defensive stats could go up, because she'd be really good defensive character with those second two. Revive with extra 50% max HP. All teammates have, that's actually really good. And if we go down to her active, we can check out more. It says it is called Disarm and Regroup. Initial cooldown of turn 2, cooldown of 4, and effect is up to 5 teammates get 50% bonus HP. A line of enemies gets disarmed and normalized for 2 turns. This character gets 50% max AP. So Again, it's a mixed bag. The bonus HP is more defensive. The disarm and normalize is both offense team and defense team. The fact that it is controlled, so you can control the second character that gets it, not just the first, because it is a line of enemies. Let's say there's a shield with a payback character behind them. This is kind of an old school way of doing things to try and protect the shield a bit more, or a healer or something. You can have Tanya and Mr. Lou in the same line, and it's RNG who Princess hits with her other normalizers. It's RNG who, most characters hit with the other parts in a normalize, like Brutus, whereas this is guaranteed. You know who it's going to hit, but that means if they're not in a line, then you're never going to have a chance. Whereas the bonus with Brutus is, you could potentially get Mr. Lou and Tanya on different sides of the team, but there is RNG involved. So there's obviously bonuses and there's advantages and disadvantages to both ways. But I don't think this active skill is that bad. But like I said, I think I kind of see her as being a more defense team character at the moment. But like I said, bit too much attack maybe. However, when we check out her specialist skill, that does kind of go okay because she's got Outlast, which means when she's taken out, it says when this specialist is defeated, their death is delayed by 1 turn, which they may still take an action, and they receive 100% AP. This obviously means that even though she is kind of flimsy for a defense team, she will still get a go at rushing potentially if she is taken out, which actually makes it not too bad. And that way you can maybe gear her quite offensively, trying to make it so that she does get taken out, and in the meantime she's going to do a lot of damage. I'm not a big fan though personally of percentage damage dealers on defense teams, just because there are a lot of people using payback on attack right now. Mr. Lou, and I mean a lot of people have cheesed the payback on attack teams for a very long time. I think if we get updates to payback in the future, like a payback 2 or something where the better payback characters come out, I'd love to see it where it just doesn't work on attack teams or something like that. I don't know, because where you get these rushes where it's on defense only, it works. It's just you're massively restricting defense team options if you can't use percentage damage dealers there, but that's just my opinion anyway. It does break down some more season store rewards. It says, along with S Class Mackenzie, you'll be able to obtain S Class cards for the following fighters and 5-star weapons in the season store during season 15. S Class Callie and S Class Scotsman will be your 2 S Class characters in the S Class crates, where I think you can get 500 for 5,000 season store tokens. It's reasonable, and these 2 characters are fairly premier. I think Scotsman's only just come into the daily crate. He is on the tournament crates right now. I think he just made it into the 100 tier, or he's just in the last slot of the 60. Oh no, I think he actually just made it into the pass with Magna. But Callie is nowhere to be seen, so that she's definitely the more premium character in here, and I know a lot of people do like this character, so you'll be able to get 2,500 cards of these characters total, I believe. There will also be 2 weapons returning as well to the rewards, and the first one is Angel's Savage Sword Off Shotgun. And this weapon would have been brilliant, I think, if it had just a little bit of a change in obviously how it was set up. I think in that 4th slot, if it had a 1535, and if it was attack percentage instead of crit, this weapon would have been amazing, because it would have been like a first turn team's perfect weapon. You get up to 50% attack, and that's what you want. You just want lots of heavy attack. You want the 20% AP to self. You could put that on beta and put them in certain teams to rush quick, rush first turn obviously. You're not going to need AP, but it being there is a bonus. But you can't do like crit multiplier. You can't crit on a first turn team unless you're the character and it's in the hands of crits on their rush. And with beta and a lot of the first turn characters that are being used right now, that is not going to be the case. But it is a 20% AP to self weapon. They also get a 20% attack buff, which is kind of nice. And this isn't a terrible weapon, but it also isn't fantastic. To get extra stuff on it, which would be attack and 1535, that means the most attack you're going to get is 35%. So you're just going to be falling off a little bit. And hasn't had any confirmation in here that these weapons are going to be reduced in price. So going by the current season's pricing, I believe this weapon will cost 60,000 of the season store tokens, with the S Class character Mackenzie costing the same. Again, nothing confirmed either way, but would cost 32,000. And then we have the second 5-star weapon, which would cost 90,000, I believe. This weapon is actually pretty good. There are a number of characters that could use this. You could swap out one of the defensive stats for AP on attack, upgrade the other stat to 45%, and you've got a good weapon. But as I was talking about on my stream, the downside is we have been given alert buffs quite a lot of times, and it's completely redundant after 2 alert buffs on a defense team. And realistically, The second one is only useful for one character anyway, the one who is holding the original alert buffs, because it buffs everybody else but not the person who's holding it. But if you have 2, then everyone gets the buff. But obviously 3 is useless. It would have been nice to have something different. It wouldn't even have to have been a dark blue buff here. It could have been something else. I'm not really sure what, but just something different. If people didn't get those weapons, you know, I think one of them was part of an event where you had to grind a roadmap heavily. It was the Desert Eagle, pretty much identical to this weapon where it had HP, AP on defense, focus stun, and alert buffs. That weapon, I think you can get a little bit. I think actually you can get them identical. You can just on this weapon you can choose whether you want to go with HP or defense in the stat you chose. You could potentially use this on S Class Amber on a defense team if you wanted to make her a defense team character, because you could just keep the stats, not add AP, change the last slot to 1535 and then upgrade either both the stats 5% or one of the stats to 45%, and then just rely on the fact that she gives herself 100% AP on that second turn. And it obviously is fitting in the character's hands who it is named after, so there is potential there. You should be able to quite easily get a diamond weapon here as well, because it only needs 1 upgrade to get that, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Unless you downgrade the 4 slot to 1535, you might just fall off. But it does look nice. I think the weapon does look good. It looks quite a lot like the weapon that she holds in her hands. I think it's basically effectively if she was holding 2 6-shooters, one would be the one she's got in her hand, and the other one would be this one we see right here. And then lastly, it does confirm that climbing to the top and reaching Diamond 5 will also net you a Paragon mod for the season, an Impair Resist Paragon mod which offers a 90% Impair Resist, so that's confirmation. Paragon mods are granted at max level and do not require further leveling. So, you know, you can get a Paragon mod which gives you 90% Impair Resist, which is actually pretty strong considering Impair is quite heavy right now. To be honest, Trauma wasn't really that heavy at the beginning of last season, but it did get heavier as the season went on, and obviously characters made themselves, you know, available that were obviously really good with Trauma Resist. Characters like Akira, characters like March. So there are definitely characters out there that will use Impair Resist to a much better standard as well. Maybe someone who comes in with a rush that either cleanses Impair or, you know, maybe heals their team to just keep them alive on a defense team. Generally, Paragon mods are better used on defense teams because you want to make your defense team as rock solid as possible. The attack teams generally have a bonus because you're the human. You should have the advantage of just being a better player than the AI. That's the fingers crossed anyway. So that's League's Season 15, guys. Just a little early look at that information. This will be dropping on Monday, so do keep an eye out for that. I think the current season is up until then, and then basically it's either an hour gap or instantaneous. The market will just switch. So do keep an eye on that. Scroll all the way to the right hand side if you're on Diamond League when it starts to pick up your seal and get some free rewards in your missions. But other than that, hopefully I'll bring a first look video of S Class Mackenzie herself over the weekend. But if not, I'll try my best to do that on Monday or Tuesday next week. That is the end of my video though, guys. I want to thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.